Alright, hello. This is the last video for tonight, and yes, it's got there's some crazy references in here back to Madonna again. And I think I've got some number jumps with it for the 8:30 date. Anyway, why am I on this thrift shop? Yeah, by Macklemore. Because it has this huge reference to Back to the Future right at the start of it, okay? Yeah, with the DeLorean. And so, I don't want to be careful where I go with this now. I mean, let's just start with the number plate. I think I've said this before, but just right there in the number plate is the number 51. 51 Mayday 51 is the twin date for 9/1. Okay, and 9/1 has, look at this, 121 days left in the year. Okay. This number plate here, this license plate, it could be referencing our 9/1 date, and there are some 9/1 references in here that we've gone through before in this video. But we're going to look at something fresh in here and a couple of things that I didn't do. I didn't run well, of course, I didn't run the numbers back then because I didn't really think anything of it, but now I've come to reassess it and found some more interesting stuff. I don't know what to say about it. But again, 15 and 21 are the fifth and sixth triangular numbers, okay, which are referencing, or at least in my chart of Lorraine, is the fifth and sixth column, which references Tower 1 and Tower 2. Okay. Anyway, this DeLorean, this DeLorean reference, this thing, which is gonna get deaded. Okay, the connection back with Madonna. Okay, so we're gonna go through some stuff in here. Super interesting, right? One other thing to note as well, why thrift shop is so important, because I don't think I'm in the right spot here. No, that ain't the right one. Not organized down as usual. Still got stuff up from. Let me show you why thrift shop is so important, because if we just jump back here a little bit to this point, we were looking at this 820 with Madonna, and again, if I just come through here just a hair more, can we see it? Well, we've just gone by just a little bit. Back up just a little bit. Right here, Goodwill Industries. Okay, Goodwill is right here. Yeah, I'm not going to explain all the other connections with this, but we've got connections to Madonna. Okay. So this is referenced several times in here, Goodwill. Okay. Anyway, let's whiz through this as quickly as we can, because I've got to get to a couple of spots in here. Now, there's probably, I actually need to spend a lot more time on this, but I just wanted to show you these couple of things in here. So, first thing is this character here. I mentioned this in another video. I said, you know what, this reminds me of, and supposedly it isn't because I checked, but it reminds me of this girl out of American Pickers. Now, whether or not it really is her or not, I'm not sure, but it certainly is a good look-alike if it isn't her, but supposedly it isn't. I checked, and supposedly that is not her unless they've changed their mind or something, and it is. I don't know, but anyway. So you'll probably remember out of American Pickers, okay, that show. Pretty important show, right? Big show, okay. Her birthday, look, she's got the Aussie birthday, December the 3rd, 75. So I did a number jump with her, just because she's in there, through to this 8:30 date that we're looking at. So 12/3/75 through to 8:30. Look, 18/1/6/8. We got Madonna's numbers in here fairly nicely. Okay, click it. Okay, the composite number. Okay, 16086. Okay, so not super duper matches, but I think there was something else you could do here. You could click in end date, include the end date, click it again, and now you have the 20th, the 28, the 28 stuff going on. So if you've been following along with the last lot of stuff with the 20th of August stuff and the 28 references, did you see this? And it's just like, oh boy, that is mental. Anyway, there was another character in here when I was decoding it before that I thought, you know what, I'm going to look him up as well. So let me get to the point in the video and let me and show you who this I think is referencing. Where is it? Come on. It's just after this point. We're going to go back here a little bit and look another bit. This dude here, if this guy isn't dressed up like, where is he? This guy, Casey Neistat. Now, if you watch, this guy's fairly big on YouTube. Okay, I used to watch him a little bit a few years back now. Kind of enjoy his kind of humor and his, what he was putting out anyway. But anyway, look. I mean, number one, look at his birthday. Yeah, he's 44 years old, and he's got the March the 25th, 81. Let me show you something in here, okay? Because we're looking at Madonna for these, anything that's tying in with an 8-3. Well, look at his birthday. Yeah, super nice. The 3/25. Yeah, the 25th of March. And no doubt he's 44 right now, which is the center of this table. So this makes, I mean, that's a pretty interesting, could be an interesting tie-in with Madonna. So I thought, well, we've got to run his numbers for sure, Anyway, so this is what this dude looks like, yeah. And he kind of does fix things out of broken things as well, or at least when I used to watch him, he did. So this is kind of interesting. This is, to me, this is definitely who they're trying to represent here. Anyway, let's do his number jump now. So that is not it, is it? Where have I got his number jump? That's actually one from the thing. Here it is. Here's his birthday. 3/20. Yeah, that's it. 3 to 8:30. Okay. 16229. Okay. Click it. You just can't write this stuff. 1886. Okay, just amalgamate those 8s. 186. Okay. All right. It's not the right way around. Okay, but we got the numerology popping again. Okay. Anything else interesting? I can't remember if there was. I can't remember if there was something else that was interesting here as well. No, I don't think there was. No, it was just the fact that we had that 186 numerology popping up again. And I mean, what? I don't know what's the chances. What are the chances? All right. Okay. I don't know how many numbers are there with 186 in, prime numbers from 0 to. I mean, how many are there? Can't be that many. I guess when you start doubling up stuff, maybe there's quite a few more than you think, but anyway, I wanted to show you. Let's get to the point here. Come on. So thrift shop. Let's just do the release date as well while we're here, and then I'll show you some other stuff that's going to be relevant. What was it? This one right here. So it's August 28, 2012. August 28, 2012 through to that date. Note the 13/3 again, the 133 stuff. Remember we just had, what's his face? What was that guy's name? Jack Harlow with the vanilla stuff. His birthday was the 13th of March. Anyway, what was this? 4751. Interesting numbers straight off the bat with all the 47s that have been showing up and the Mayday number in there. But hang on a minute. What's this? 640 showing up. Okay, now remember that Super Bowl was number 46. Remember, we've got Donald Trump, born in 46 and unable to be number 46. Oh dear. Okay, you get the idea. There's just some, I mean, it's just marginally interesting, this stuff. I wouldn't call it a slam dunk kind of number there, but I just think it's a nice connection. Right, what else we got here? Let me show you this dude. I want to show you this dude is featuring Wands. Is that how you say it? I'm not sure, but it just kind of reminds me of like ones. But look at this guy. Who does this remind you of that we've been dealing with lately? Yeah, it reminds me, at least, with the slaphead here. Not to be too rude, but the bald head with Magic Johnson and all those bits of bobs of decodes with Desperately Seeking Susan and all that, and Marcellus Wallace, yeah, with Pulp Fiction, yeah, all these connections with this. I mean, a very similar looking guy. And look what we've got. October the 9th. There we go. There's Sharon Osbourne's birthday. There's a kind of same numerology as the 9-1 we're looking at, or the sort of big day with the Hoover Dam, and again with Guy Ritchie's birthday with the 10th of September. Same numerology again. Did I say I want to say anything more about that? No, just get off of that for a minute. That 355 is interesting as well. I had a number jump that had a 355. I've erased it, and I don't know what the hell what it was, but I did have a matchup for that. It was either 533 or 3. I think it was 355 though. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, whatever. Let me show you actually in this now. So there's some references again back to Desperately Seeking Susan. So we want to back up just to about here actually. Okay, let's just crack on just a little bit. We've got the twinism stuff going on here again. Okay, but he's singing here with JFK in the background, right? And if you notice down here, just right below my cursor here, we've got the Golden Pyramid. Yeah, all this Eye of Provenance stuff. Yeah, Desperately Seeking Susan, the Golden Pyramid. Okay, just so happens that they've just got this right here with JFK. So we're going to do some JFK number jumps. Okay, note the pinball machine here. Notice that featured. Let's put it this way, slightly crudely, but in the film, in the Magic Club, Madonna is about to get the Magic Johnson on the pinball machine. Okay. Anyway, so there's some interesting references here, and if we just move along just a second or two here, we can do some JFK stuff here in a minute, because we've had there's a lot of JFK references, and in fact I think I'm not too far here. Where the hell is it? It's just going to come right off to the edge of this. Go a little bit more. Come on. And I haven't even, I'm not even looked at the Washington in the background here reference. I think he was just walking down there, Hang on, let me just edge this along very slowly, because we need to see. Maybe it's later. No, it clicks right straight through to that, doesn't it? Hang on, let me click on. Oh, here it is. This is handy. Oh, look at the bear references here. Is that another bear reference over there as well? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, here's old Marilyn. Yeah, old Marilyn Monroe. So he was stood somewhere about here. We didn't see this in the background, but it's just very fascinating to have. This is complete. This to me is completely staged. Anyway, Marilyn Monroe and oh, I, what is that? Is that like an umbrella behind her there? Parasol type thing? I'm not sure. Anyway, it doesn't matter right now. Let's do some number jumps with Marilyn Monroe and JFK as well, and then we'll call it quits on this one. But there is way more in here, I reckon, to really dig out of this thing. But yeah, there's Marilyn Monroe, and again, let me just click on this guy so you can get the idea of Marcellus Wallace. Okay, yeah, Magic Johnson. Okay, and was there anything majorly important in here? The fact that he is on a boat right here on a lake at the end of this thing. Okay, right, let me show you these number jumps with JFK, and then we'll call it quitties. What was this one? That was, yeah, that was what's his face with the 1886 Casey Neistat one, and that was the Danielle one, which worked out quite nicely as well. And then this is JFK's birthday through to 8:30. Click it. It's supposed to be. Oh yeah, this is what was interesting. Donald Trump's birthday numbers here. So that was really interesting, with the idea of like the birth of Donald Trump again, you know, the rebirth of Donald Trump, the death of the Matrix here. That was kind of a really ominous one there, I thought, for sure. Eesh. Okay. We had that one, and then what else do we have here? And obviously the connection with her and JFK. Well, there's a connection in Back to the Future with the JFK drive when he's with the grandparents. Okay, and he does the old gun symbolism. Then this is Marilyn Monroe, and obviously Marilyn Monroe, JFK had the thing going on, and then the other famous thing is the Happy Birthday, Mr. President, okay, which we'll get onto in just a second. But this was kind of interesting. Her death date, with the remember Magic Johnson had the 32 numbers. Again, she's sitting there, you know, and we've got this Desperately Seeking Susan reference with the pinball machine and the golden pyramid right there, right? And we've got the Magic Johnson numbers coming up for her in a palindromic format, mirrored on a date that falls between this 8:20 and 8:30 numbers. Yeah, which is this is where Marty's late for school. Okay, so this is just, if you can get what I'm thinking here, this is just mental as well. And then this is Marilyn Monroe's birthday through to 8:30, and again, it's like 99 years, 90 days. Absolutely crazy. I can't remember if you added on 99, whether that was an interesting. Oh, well, it's kind of semi-interesting again. It's got the 38 in it. The numerology we're looking at from the 30th of August. And it's got this 47 silver that just keeps popping up with Madonna. This 47 stuff, you know. Donald Trump now the 47th. Anyway, was there any more number jumps? No, that was it. So, you know, the thing with Marilyn Monroe and Madonna is that Madonna has done a lot of, I wouldn't call it impersonations of Marilyn Monroe, but she's done a lot of photo shoots where she's in the same poses, wearing very similar outfits, you know, kind of trying to, you know, emulate Marilyn Monroe. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there for this one. I just thought I was interested. I probably may at some point come back to Thrift Shop and take a few more looks at it, because from the album The Heist, oh dear, that's making me think of Gene Hackman again. Anyway, okay, I'm going to leave it there. But don't forget, the Goodwill is just right there in Back to the Future. Yeah, it is just right there. Yeah, we had the 820 on the van. We did all the connections with the van and the sort of Donald Trump birthday. Now we've got this, this, right here as well. And what is the time right here? I'm not sure. It looks like 3:20 something. Maybe, I don't know. If anybody can figure out what that time is, that'd be interesting to know. Whether that ties in with this or what, I don't know. Anyway, calling it on this one. Okay. Thanks for watching. That's it for tonight. Like I said though, probably nothing will happen. Usually, the way it goes. But still seeing a lot of this. Still seeing a ton of 820 stuff, and even doing these 830 jumps now. Still seeing a lot of 820 stuff tying back in with it. So I don't know. It's definitely interesting anyway. Alright, thanks for watching. Alright, cheers. Night. God bless.